Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum again, and welcome you to this panel discussion. So I think we are in middle of lunch and starting with a panel discussion. So we will try to be as brief and as elaborative we can. So first of all, thank you for being in this event. And Dr. Scott, I was watching your presentation, and I really enjoyed the kind of trends you were showing about the AI and the future. But I've been, from Huawei's perspective, we are doing a lot of emphasis on, yes, AI is coming in, but we must not forget that connectivity, intelligent connectivity will still remain a very, very important element in our journey towards AI. So from your perspective, how would you see things going about it?
Well, thank you. That's a great question. I think connectivity is critical for AI. Like, we've spent, AI is 70 years old, and we all grew up with data sets in the lab, and we worked in isolation. But the more that we're seeing AI needing to be deployed in the real world, we're talking about real-time data. We need to get our data, and data is everywhere. I'm a data guy. Just give me some data, and I'll be happy. But the data is everywhere, and that's what we keep telling people.
Yep.
But we need to get at it. So having that connectivity, being able to stream data to where you're doing the computation, or taking the computation to the edge. Because if you're looking at a citywide camera network, for example, and the cameras get higher and higher quality, that's a lot of data. So we need to start taking decisions on the edge, but we then need to communicate those decisions back. They need to all happen in real time. So that connectivity, never going down, having it on a local area, having it over long distance, is absolutely critical to successful deployments of AI anywhere.
That's fantastic. So when at Huawei we say that ultra low latency networks, high bandwidth, and millions of users to be supported through intelligent connectivity, that actually is taking us on the journey towards AI, if I'm not wrong.
100%, because as a single consumer, I want whatever AI is functioning on my phone, I want it to be seamless.
Sure.
So do the thousands of other people connected. But also at the same time, at the one point, it needs to happen fast. The computation, the decisions, the data coming in and out, no, they really do go hand in hand to enable.
That's correct. So now, Aloysius, I'll come to you. When we talk about AI, there is another thing that is becoming very intelligent, and I think we all coming from technology world, we have noticed that, and that is the people who are doing cyber attacks. People who are trying to, for whatever the reason can be ransomware, and we have recently seen sudden spike in these kind of cases coming up, pipelines being hacked or enterprises being hacked. So as we progress towards millions of connections, larger surface of attack, intelligent connectivity, more bandwidth, the first thing that also becomes visible is there's certain kind of vulnerability that is created. So how do you see and what should we be doing to handle this?
So that's a very good question, Faisal, because recently in the last 2 days we have grappled with the largest ransomware attack called Rival that now is demanding $70 million in US in Bitcoin payment. So the pipeline incident that was in May, they only asked for 5 million. So the same group right now asked for 70 million. So this is something that is in line with what we are observing in that cybersecurity right now we are facing a crunch in terms of expertise and resources. So with automation, with AI, it solves the problem of the cybersecurity shortage in terms of our manpower.
That's good.
It will help us a lot to do the firefighting jobs. Automate the firefighting job to these guys. That means that if you want to push up any patches because you have updated your policy or because there's a new attack, you can do it rapidly using automation. And that is precisely what we should be doing to address the concerns coming from this kind of ransomware attack. We need to, the moment we know where the attack is coming from, we need to use automation to stop it. And that's what I call efficiency. And there's also the effectiveness part whereby we have to stop the attack right in the back, right? We have to address the thing, the concern, bite the bullet in the head. And only through AI and automation, as a result, we could address the concern effectively by zeroing in on the problem. And as they continue to learn, they will build knowledge of how to respond to the same kind of attack. So that will give you an assurance that over some time, some of the more common attacks can be dealt with by all these AI and automated systems that we build. And that is for effectiveness. And lastly, we also like to give user the experience. And what I meant by experience is, since I mentioned that there's a shortage in manpower for cybersecurity, we do want our experts to focus on salient matters, things that are important, key matters of interest. And that's where we should free up all the firefighting to the automation and let our guys focus on the real problem. And the real problem is very business focused, because security today, just as technology today, is the enabler of businesses.
Definitely, because I was reading about a very worst case scenario created by one of the writers, that imagine not a pipeline but a utility company of a very vibrant city being attacked, and what kind of ransom those attackers can demand, and how crippled you will be to offer them, because there is no way out. So I think this is very, very critical issue, even way more critical issue than we are all looking at it. So now I'll come to Dr. Firas. First of all, thank you for coming all the way from Jordan. I was talking to you about your journey about smart campus, and today I also presented the smart campus solution, that how not only connectivity in a campus is one of the founding pillar, but at the end of the day, what you want to achieve in managing your campus can be done through our platform. But why you started your journey from first transforming the network?
Yes, actually, we had started this long journey since 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we believe that the new technology must be embedded within each course in the university. I'm talking about courses because we are in the academic sector, so we are concentrating on the materials, study plan, curriculum of the courses. So all of those teaching process must be enhanced. That's why the new requirements, the new requests in these days become more complicated than before.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of new requirements, so you have to follow up those requirements. You have to manage, smartly manage, in an intelligent way. That's why you have to think to build up the system step by step. Building the system in a proper way, in a scientific way of research, is very important to have a success story after a while. So building the system means that you have to start from scratch, build your own data center, well-structured data center. Then you must have your own also network.
Yes.
Your network, an intelligent network. Why intelligent network? To reduce the human being interference. Maybe you reduce the cost, you reduce the problems which will be affected by the maybe errors by the people. So intelligence in the network, when you are transferred to automation network, so means that you are concentrating on facilitate the way of thinking and the way of implementing your applications, which has been developed in the center as example, or in the institution. Sure. After then you have the subsystems, you have the applications, the smart applications built up in a proper way also. After that you have the core, you have the infrastructure of the smart campus, and the smart campus will be an infrastructure to the next step, which is most important, the intelligence.
Sure.
You have to exploit every word, every data, every single data in your system to build up your intelligence system to help you in a decision making and the level of management and the level of education also. The students, their thinking will be managed, will be developed, will be enhanced also. The way of thinking of the students will be more enhanced. The way of thinking of the lecturers, the administration, you will find the management of the university become more enhanced, more suitable. The campus will be more suitable to the student to distribute knowledge. You know, if you have automation also, now the Wi-Fi as example, or the infrastructure will distribute the knowledge in an easy way, in a proper way to the customers who are the students for us, and also to share the knowledge with outside, with the world also. It's very important. So you have to connect each knowledge, each data, each process data to get to use it in the new algorithms and AI algorithms to build your system or to build your center and to have a big data. After a while, you will have a big data, a huge data, which you will share with all sectors in the country. As example, the medical sector will get benefit from those data. The research will be real research. I mean by real research, the results will be highly considered to make some decision, a very critical decision. You are talking about the medical as example, the most critical sector need to have a real data, real data in your big data system. So the smartness helped you to have those huge data, which will be after a while managed by some algorithms of AI. In addition to the medical, also banking system, military system, everything will be managed by those data. So also you will share this data by some other universities, maybe outside the country. Maybe you will share knowledge with the country, with the world, international. So we are looking forward to have an international center. First of all, will be have a regional center. Then our vision to share those knowledge with also outside, internationally. So this is the most important or the most important issue for us, inshallah, to follow up and to develop ourselves, to follow up the development in the world, because you know this transformation, it's a big story. And it's not easy to follow up. Else, if you have some efforts and you have the proper partner to help you going up.
That's great. Now, I was talking to your team, and one thing I liked about them was that they were not shying away from automating the whole environment. And they were not thinking that, oh, if I implement smart campus, if I implement AI-based management, then something will happen to our role. Because as you said, very important thing that you are focusing more on the requirements are increasing, the expectations are increasing from the users on your campus, and that is a very positive way of looking at your whole environment rather than being shying away that, oh, if we bring full automation, what will we all do that? And that is what I said in the morning in my session, that network managers are no more network managers, they are network service providers in an organization, when we totally need to change our, our thinking around that. So I think this is a bit fragile. So, okay, Mr. Ala, so let's coming back to you. So what is your take on the whole intelligent connectivity thing? Because you've been talking to different forums, different platforms, and promoting Huawei's key message around intelligent connectivity.
Okay. So I guess with the increased demand of devices and people to be connected in a way or another, whether to the internet or to different networks. And also with the AI and cloud being on the top of every governmental and large enterprise agenda, I think that the requirement for an intelligent converged networking platform that covers the entire infrastructure is crucial for all those initiatives and for us to be able to take or go to the digitization era that we keep referring to. So multiple areas will be tackled and domains when we look at the entire converged intelligent platform are around, for example, throughput. The required throughput for us to be able to run critical applications, high throughput demand applications, coverage, is also something that need to be taken into account. Security, of course, is crucial in this scenario, and of course the overall intelligent operation and management that will be able to really proactively monitor the network. To start with, provide the network, proactively monitor, optimize, and continue management that will apparently improve also on the total cost of ownership for this particular environment. So I think as an takeaway for that question in particular, the intelligent, converged, secure, scalable platform or converged infrastructure is crucial for us to be able to go to the digital era and the AI era.
Definitely. I think you're right that we have to completely transform the way we are doing things traditionally to go into the new requirements of AI era, and exactly what we did before coming to digital era. It was difficult. It was, I think, even within the organizations, it was difficult to adopt and make people adopt. And unfortunately, later COVID-19 came and we were pushed to adopt it at way faster pace, but things like that. So Dr. Scott, coming back to you, we as Huawei have been advocating automation, network automation a lot. And as you saw today that we are connecting big data and AI quite perfectly with network automation. How do you see it? Because I saw the last slide was quite focused around this subject.
I mean, I think it's exactly to the point you made about the increased demands on people's time, the increased demands of the users wanting the seamless experience, wanting connectivity everywhere. The networks are much more complex. And we see this in manufacturing, we see this in health. The world we're living in is becoming more complex, but we're expecting more of it. And so automation plays a very big part in that. And it's the way we talk about one way to look at adopting AI or RPA or technologies like that. Where is your biggest time spent? What is the most repetitive task that you're doing? What is something that would take too long for a person to look at? For a person to look at an entire network and see data patterns takes long time. That's what AI, that's what automation is perfect for. So the more of those tasks that we can simplify the complex, then the more time we have for focusing on the really important tasks. Because there's some things the AI will never be able to do. The AI will never be able to, do the conscious connecting of these pieces, but take out that layer through the automation, through making sure the network is as optimized as possible, seamless. You're taking care of the users, but then the team who are running the network have that time available. It's not replacing people, it's helping people.
That's wonderful. So Aloysius, how automation is helping tackling cybersecurity? Because at the end of the day, if we are there are two things. One is if our systems, for example, our firewalls, our cybersecurity infrastructure is intelligent, of course it is better than signature-based management of the whole thing. But how security gets better when you go for automation? Because when I present automation, I present always a lot of time from security perspective. What is your take on this?
For a long time, security depends on the firewalls and the IDSs to build a very hard off-the-shelf. But today, as exposed by the pandemic last year, as we work from home, you realize that the boundaries that you build in the office to protect the assets are no longer effective. Because I work from home, that means that my home is an extension of office. Does it mean that you have to come to my home and install the firewalls and the IDSs to detect any attack on my network? Or even at home, if I'm using the Wi-Fi of my neighbor, what kind of consequence will that give me? So AI, automation, and what we are seeing today, in terms of legislation regime, we are driving back the power to the user. So what is important today is that data that's owned by the user. And we have to look at it as the new digital gold, right? Or for the lack of a better word, the digital oil here, okay, in Middle East is that data. And we have to build solutions that address the concerns of returning power to the user, returning power to the businesses to make use of this data and make sense of it and build new business paradigms around it.
Understand.
And in doing so, we probably need to chaperone some of these IT departments and all these developers that are making use of this data to build new products and services. So it would be good if AI can be built in, okay, that automate certain cybersecurity, basic cyber hygiene that should be practiced. I mean, for us in the morning we wake up, we will normally just wash our face, brush our teeth, and clean our ears, that kind of stuff. You do it by routine. So if we can make cybersecurity routine or cyber hygiene, include that as part of the automation in our system, like even in the event that there's a hack that happens now, either they can deflect it away or that they could just restart them into a pristine condition. And that's what we want to see, especially when we have massive network rollout. It doesn't mean that, you know, I have time to go to every base station and then upgrade that base station.
Definitely.
We want to automate this updating process. And we want to make sure that, you know, in the event that everything else fails, we will reboot that base station and we will build it into another pristine condition that doesn't have the malware that is installed in there. So, in short, in summary, is that what we are seeing today when we implement AI-driven, user-focused, fully automated network as we return power of control of this data to the user and open up this data for exploitation by product and services company that can use this to build a new knowledge economy.
Absolutely.
We have all this taken care of if this automation is built into our system in the first place.
That's fantastic. So Dr. Firas, coming to you, that while you're managing the complete education infrastructure of your environment, how automation helps you and how important it is to automate your network environment, your campus environment, the complete operations that you are running. Because as you very rightly said in the beginning, that keeping the focus on user demands and increasing user demands is very, very important. But then there are enterprises who are still going the manual way, because there are social concerns around it that, oh, let people be there, still managing them. Why did you go the automation way? What was the inspiration behind it?
Actually, we realize the importance of IT transformation since a long time ago, because we are from the first university, we became paperless work university, fully paperless work.
Completely.
Since 10 years ago.
Wow.
So we don't use paper at the campus. So this means that all our applications has been automated. Our applications inside and outside the university. So we have also web application, mobile application. So those applications must be well managed, well secured.
Yes.
So you have to concentrate more in the security. Because when you have web application, mobile application means that you have to think more and more how to secure those data. So this is the issue regarding the applications, the administration applications, I mean. Now, for the education process also, you know, we are also from the initiators. As I said, we established the first e-learning center in the region since 2007. We realized that in the future, our vision was to have the e-learning as one of our objectives, because we guess that in the future, in the coming future, we will face some, we will have international students need the e-learning. So we implemented also the e-learning courses since a long time ago.
Wow.
So we have applications, we have e-courses distributed to the others outside the campus. So those things is very important to look after them after a while. You have to develop, to keep developing.
Keep upgrading.
To keep developing. This is the main reason we started the IT transformation or the digital transformation since a long time ago. But we didn't stop. Until now, we are looking forward for the phase 2 and phase 3, hopefully, in the coming future.
That's correct.
We finished just the phase 1. Phase 1 is very important to be as an infrastructure for the next step. So this is the automation and the network security. So the complicated requests from our students in the course and the teaching processes need that, actually. So, alhamdulillah, we have a success story in this issue. And during COVID-19, our university was from the success universities to deliver interactively their courses using the medias, using the different medias to distribute that, than interactive course. So we have started from the day one when we had the COVID-19 and the teaching started to be online teaching courses. So we didn't stop. We didn't face any problem, just administration problem, which is normal. And the teaching process started from the day one of COVID, and there's no problem because we have a good infrastructure. Our systems has been automated. The employees, our staff was working from their houses, and our applications, the security was well proper.
So you're pretty much ready for this whole unfortunate situation because you foresee the requirements coming up.
Yes, we didn't feel any problem.
That's
why.
That's great. Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Mr. Allah, so what would be your conclusion from Huawei's point of view that why customers should adopt for network automation overall for their data center, for the campus, WAN environments, and why they should do it very fast?
Yes. Thank you, Faisal. So I think at Huawei, it's important that we look at the entire infrastructure, not only on the networking piece of it, which is the focus of today, because it's important to understand that this converged platform starts from transmission, optical LAN, moves into the networking, and then into the compute platform, and then even to the cloud and AI. And all of this should be looked at or should be covered with an intelligent O&M platform that can really, again, like we said earlier, activate, operate and maintain and optimize and manage as we go to improve on the total cost of ownership. So at Huawei, we really cover the end-to-end offering when it comes to all these different components to build that intelligent, again, converged platform. And with regards to your second point, the speed of executing on this matter, I think we've seen earlier in the day that 62% of the current platforms are not ready. For the initiatives that all these organizations are talking about with regards to digitization and AI deployment. So the answer to your question is yesterday, ASAP. I think all governmental entities and large enterprises need to get into a program to start that development plan.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now I think we will just conclude this session. I'll give you all 30 seconds each because I think then we have to wind up and go for a wonderful lunch that is waiting for us. So I'll go in a reverse order. So Mr. Allah, if you would like to conclude from our side.
All right. So I want to thank everyone who joined us today. It was really a great pleasure, and the discussion that has been managed by Faisal was also very effective. I think the day's conclusion is that we as a team between Huawei, customers and partners want to work together in delivering that intelligent converged platform to really have a very strong foundation and solid foundation to be able to build all the different services on the top of it, be it governmental, be it related to any industry within the large enterprises, because I think it's crucial for those initiatives.
Thank you.
And with this, I want to conclude. Thank you again and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Dr. Scott, I'll come to you. Your 30 seconds.
I think for me the most important thing, pulling together a few of the different threads, is one thing we're talking about with data is looking at what's happening and looking at patterns, but what we're actually turning that into with the intelligent network is that predictive element. You know, we talked about foreseeing what was coming. That's what data and the intelligence in the network's more about. It's about getting to that point where we're not reactive, but we're proactive, where we're stopping things before they happen. And I think that is the most important part for me about coming together of AI and these technologies.
Great. I like the word proactive rather than being reactive, the conclusion. So Dr. Firas.
Actually, every institution must think a lot, and he has any institution, any university has to make good planning, to have a strong partner, and to cooperate. Actually, we believe that success will be successfully done without the cooperation with the private sector as an academic sector, because every sector has its own objectives, has its own objectives, which is need to be cooperate with others to enhance those objectives, to collaborate. So success is in cooperation. We feel proud that we are cooperating with you, Huawei, and we hope, we are looking forward for more cooperation in the future, inshallah.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining once again. Aloysius, I want to close it securely, so I left you at the end.
Well, I mean, AI is here to stay.
Right.
Right? In every pieces and every part of the business, AI is there, going to be there. And it's not there to going to replace you or the business, but it's there to complement. And very much AI is part of the strategy for Huawei cybersecurity, as we design security from scratch, as we bake in security from a security and privacy by design systems for our customers. We always employ AI, proactively wherever possible to help us get the job done. Because to us, sometimes AI, besides being something that can do all the heavy lifting for us, because there's just too much log for us to analyze. Okay, we need some heavy lifting, but it is also an enabler for security, because it allows us to build heuristics, and as we train it, they can get better at not only detecting existing risks and exploit, but also possibly new risks, variant or new risks. We can train them to address that and stop the attack from happening, and nip it at the bud, even before it happens. And that's why we build our systems as we implement security. AI is very much part of it.
That's great. Like in a lot of keynotes, I've been saying that AI is the next general purpose technology. Like we have electricity, we started with wheels and automobiles, and I also read very good word last week that AI also, like any other technology, will become culturally invisible, that we would not even feel that where we are using it. So for AI to become culturally invisible, which it will, and it will be adopted massively, we definitely need intelligent connectivity. So I think on these remarks, I would conclude this session, and I would thank all the participants, and I would thank you all for being with us today and enjoying this wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Please. Thank you.